let's go ahead and have a seat and tune into our bodies this morning. Sit in such a way that you can feel your sit bones so that your spine can just rise up out of the pelvis. So the spine gets straight and tall, but the shoulders relax. The jaw relaxes. The eyes close. If you're comfortable with that, we need to take a huge inhale through your nose. Big exhale through your mouth. Just take a couple of normal, gentle breaths as you feel into your body, just paying attention to all of your parts. And then let's start our Ujjayi breathing. So that nice, deep, slow nose breath that is aspirated, meaning you're partially closing off the throat. The epiglottis slightly closes. That prolongs the breath. It creates kind of a whisper sigh sound. It helps power down the central nervous system. And as you continue your Ujjayi breathing, check in with thoughts, emotions, and your energy. And then once you've had a chance to examine all these parts of yourself, bring your palms together in front of your heart, and we'll pause to set our personal intentions for practice today. And when you're clear on your intention, take a deep breath in. Big exhale to the mouth. Open your eyes. If you are cross-legged, stay in a cross-legged position and put your hands on your knees. If your legs are extended, tuck your hands underneath your thighs. We're going to do 3 slow torso circles in each direction. I want you to coordinate it with your breathing as you exhale. You're leaning forward and you're kind of doing this from the hips today. I want you to feel into your hips as you're doing this. The inhale is the backward lean. The exhale is the forward lean, and you go slow. So your breathing is slow. Your movements are slow. You're just feeling what's going on in the hips and a little bit in the low back. And as you finish up all 3 circles, just come back to the center. Roll your shoulders back a couple of times. And then we're going to go straight into downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal the feet a little bit if you need to. And then just kind of start to lengthen the spine. Make sure that your pelvis is slightly tilted forward. In other words, it's like you're trying to poke your tailbone up towards the ceiling. You're trying to press your heels down towards the mat. Lengthen your spine. And then we'll slowly walk the feet forward towards the front of the mat, keeping the knees bent and taking a couple of breaths in ragdoll. On your next inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. As you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale and look up halfway. And then exhale back down. We're going to step back with the left foot this morning. So you have a right foot forward lunge. Just hold your lunge for a moment. You know, I frequently say this, but I'm going to say it again. Allow the hips to drop. Use this pose not as a place to hang out, but as a place to explore. Back of the right thigh, in this case, right glute, front of the left thigh and left hip. Just take a couple breaths. Small amounts of movement are fine. Surrendering, exhale by exhale. And then we're gonna go ahead and drop the right knee down. Sorry, that's your left knee. Drop your left knee down. And then put your right hand on the inside of the right knee. Roll to the outside edge of your right foot and apply some pressure. Just enough to start feeling right outer hip a little bit. And then fully extend your right leg. We'll say good morning to the right hamstring. And then bend the right knee, bring the arms up and overhead. We'll tilt the pelvis back. It's kind of like poking your pubic bone forward. Lift the rib cage and allow the hips to move forward. So now we're opening up front of the left hip. If you tighten the muscles at the base of your left buttock, the front of the left hip will open a little more. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands down to the mat, step back to plank position. Hold your plank for a moment. Let's make sure our cores are engaged and awake this morning. So the first time down, we'll modify knees, chest, and chin. Untuck the toes, let them touch each other. Slide your forearms forward so that you can pull your chest with relaxed glutes and lengthen your spine. This is a little bit of low back tractioning before we get into the good stuff. You really pull your heart forward. And then downward facing dog. From this down dog, step your left foot forward. And we're in the lunge for a few breaths so that on this side we can explore surrendering the hips down, seeing what's happening in the back of the left thigh, front of the right, right front hip. And then we'll go ahead and drop right knee down. Left hand goes to the inside of the left knee. Roll to the outside edge of your left foot and apply some pressure. Find sensation in your left outer hip. And then we're going to bring the left hand to the ground, fully extend the left leg. Now we're saying hello to our left hamstring. Make sure that you are trying to lengthen your spine forward. And then bend your left knee, bring the arms up and overhead. Pelvis tilts back slightly, and the hips move forward. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, back down. We're going to step back with our right foot this time. So we have a left foot forward lunge. Hold your lunge for a moment. See if perhaps the hips can sink a little deeper. Now we're going to plant the right hand very firmly. As much as your body allows, I'd like you to rotate both feet a full 90 degrees to the left. Your right leg should stay straight. I recommend flexing your right ankle. Hips are sinking down towards the mat. You should feel this in your left hip. Left hand can reach for the ceiling, or it can reach in front of that left shin for a little extra leverage. Rotate back around. Fully extend as much as you can your left leg, gazing forward. Right leg is straight too. So we're kind of trying to get both legs straight. Little bit of extra hamstring lengthening here. If the left leg doesn't go all the way straight, that's okay. And then from here, if you can, bend the left knee and rise up into a high lunge. Try to tilt the pelvis back a little bit and drop the hips. Hands to the mat, step back to plank. And now if you're up for a full vinyasa, that's what we're gonna do. Your plank is an inhale. As you lower down into Chaturanga Dandasana, that's an exhale. Upward facing dog is an inhale. And downward facing dog is an exhale. Spend a little extra time lengthening out here. And then we're going to step forward with the right foot. Hold the lunge here. Maybe getting a little deeper. And then we're going to firmly plant that left hand. If you can, both feet rotate a full 90 degrees to the right. Left ankle flexes if you can, left leg is straight. Hips are dropping towards the mat until you feel this in your right outer hip. Right hand can reach for the ceiling, or it can reach in front of the right shin for a little extra leverage. Rotate all the way back around. As much as you can, you extend that right leg. We're trying to get both legs straight here. If they don't go all the way straight, that's okay, but that's where we're aiming for. And hopefully spine is lengthening in the process. And then bend the right knee. Go ahead and bring those arms up and overhead. Pelvis tilts back. Hips are dropping. Bring the hands down and step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, arms come all the way up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale and look up halfway. And exhale, back down. We're going to step back with the left leg, spin the heel flat, come on up into warrior two. Take your right hand to the inside of your right thigh. Your left hand is going to slide down towards the left ankle. If it doesn't get all the way down there, that's okay. Keep that right knee deeply bent and then press your right arm straight. So you're actually locking out that right elbow, pressing your torso more to the left. You should feel this in your right outer hip, maybe a little bit in the right side of the low back. Come up, keep your right knee bent. Warrior two. Reverse your warrior, left hand, left thigh, right arm up and over. Keep that right knee bent, keep it pressing towards your little toe. Come back up, right knee stays bent. Right hand to the ground if you can, inside. your right foot or ankle. Your left arm is going to come up and overhead for side angle. And then I want you to just bring your left hand down, swivel onto the left toes. See if you can come onto your left forearm, maybe the right one. If you need to drop your left knee down, you can. And then if your left knee is not on the floor, go ahead and drop it now. Come on up to your hands. Walk your right foot over to the left side of the mat, just like that. We're going into pigeon. So slide your left leg back. Take a few breaths. Your right hip should be primed to release now. So breathe deeply. Feel some nice, yummy releasing in that right glute. Come back up onto your hands. Go straight to downward facing dog. Press those hips back. And then shift into plank and take your vinyasa. After you've had a moment to lengthen your spine in down dog, step your left foot forward. Pardon me, spin your right foot flat and come up into warrior two. We're going to take the left hand to the inside of the left thigh. The right hand is going to slide down towards the right ankle as far as you can get. Keep your left knee bent, press your left arm straight. So we're trying to get that tractioning of the left hip, left side of the low back. Keep your left knee bent, come back up, warrior two. Right hand on right thigh, left arm up and over, reverse warrior. Left knee stays bent and continues to press towards the little toe. Coming back up, taking left hand to the ground, inside left foot. Right arm up and overhead, extended side angle. From here, we just bring the right hand down, swivel onto the right toes. Come onto right forearm, maybe left. You can drop the right knee if you need to. And then if your right knee isn't down, go ahead and drop it now. Come up onto your hands, walk your left foot over to the right side of the mat. Drop that knee down and slide your right leg back for pigeon on the left side. And then come back up onto the hands, go straight to downward facing dog. And then shift into plank and take a full vinyasa. Really lengthen your spine in your down dog. And then take your right leg up in the air, bend the knee and roll your hip bone open towards the ceiling. Take a couple of breaths here. Swing your right leg underneath you for your second pigeon. Slide the left leg back, but stay up on your hands this time. Take a couple breaths, get everything kind of situated. Make sure you're comfortable where you are. Then I'd like you to keep your left hand on the ground. Reach back with your right hand. Bend the left knee if you can. Clasping left foot, ankle, maybe even your pants. Trying to pull left foot towards right glute. So not only are you feeling this in your right buttock, you should feel it in the front of the left hip, left thigh. Release the left leg back down. Sit down onto your right glute. Open your right knee up to 90 degrees and flex the ankle. Left leg continues to reach back. See if perhaps you can get the back of your right arm into the arch of the right foot. And if it doesn't go, your right elbow will be in front of your right shin. And then once you get there, you're going to try and get palms together in prayer and lift your torso up as you look over your left shoulder. Bring the hands back down to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Stretch. Shift into plank. Take a vinyasa. And then we're going to take the left leg into the air. Bend the knee and roll the hip bone open towards the ceiling. Swing your left leg underneath you. Coming into your second pigeon on the left side, but stay on the hands. So you're sliding your right leg back. You're taking a couple of breaths just to make sure everything feels right. And then we're going to keep the right hand on the mat. Left arm is going to reach back. If you can, you bend your right knee. You grab foot or ankle, whatever you can grab, maybe your pants. And then you pull that foot towards your left glute. So again, you're feeling left glute, but you should be feeling right front hip and right thigh. Release your right leg back down. Go ahead and sit down onto your left glute. Open your left knee up to 90 degrees. Keep the right leg reaching back. Pardon me. And then if you can, elbow or tricep of your left arm goes into the arch of the left foot. And if you cannot, then it goes on the floor in front of left shin. Palms are together. You're pushing into them to lift the torso up away from your left thigh to look over your right shoulder. Unwind from that. Go straight to downward facing dog. Stretch it out. And then shift into plank and flow through a vinyasa. Really lengthen your spine. From this downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So this morning, we're going to do a standing pigeon, like just a true standing pigeon. And I want you to just think a moment about what it's like when you're face down on your mat in pigeon, right? You have a leg, say it's your right leg. Your knee is up by your right armpit. Your right foot is over by your left armpit, right? So, and you know that you make it more intense by opening up the knee joint. The same thing is true when we're standing on one leg. So we're going to stand on the left foot first. If you can, and by the way, if you're balance challenged, put your back against a wall today, because you're going to need both hands. So you're going to stand on your left foot. You're going to reach down and grab your right foot or ankle with both hands. Flex your right ankle, so important to protect the knee. And then, just like we were talking about, you open up at the knee joint, right? So you begin to extend till you're at about 90 degrees. Then you pull right foot in the direction of left armpit. The whole goal here is to feel this in your right glute, your right buttock. It's just like pigeon, you're just not loading your body weight on it. Release your right leg down. And let's go for the other side. So same thing, if you can, you grab your left foot or ankle with both hands. Usually when we grab it, our knee is fully flexed. We're trying to open the knee joint a little bit. We want to keep the ankle flexed. And then pull the foot towards the right armpit. And release. Nice job, you guys. Roll your shoulders back. Feet together, palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale and look up halfway. Exhale, back down and either walk or jump back to plank and take your vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, again, either walk or jump forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So we're going to turn sideways and take just a moderately wide step out. Feet are going to rotate out, a comfortable angle for you. So we're going to be bending the knees, pressing them out. So your feet should be appropriately angled out so that your knees can follow the direction of your toes. Hands on the inner thighs as you bend your knees. And here's what I'd like you to do. Start leaning your torso forward. Arms are locked out. And then press even stronger against inside of left thigh. Look over right shoulder. Switch sides. Right now, arms are still straight. Come back to the center. One more time, look over right shoulder, but bend your right elbow. Maybe move the left hand higher up the inner left thigh. Breathe. And then switch sides. Same thing. You're pressing against the inside of the right thigh, bending your left elbow this time, looking over left shoulder. Maybe taking right hand higher up inner thigh. Come back to the center, go ahead and straighten your legs, toes forward, roll the shoulders back. Step your feet together. Now we're just gonna do a little extra yummy hamstring stretch here. So what I'd like for you to do is step your left foot behind your right foot. Both feet are flat on the floor, by the way. You wanna get the soles flat, but your right leg is in front, so your legs are crossed. Try and keep the legs straight. And simply fold forward. Take a couple of deep, slow breaths here. And then go ahead and come on up, uncross the legs. And now we take the right leg behind the left leg. So right foot crosses behind left foot. Ideally, both feet are flat, legs are straight if you can. Left leg is in front this time. You're folding forward into a forward bend. Go ahead and inhale, come all the way back up, uncross your legs. Come back up to the front of the mat, feet together, palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale and look up halfway. And exhale back down. Either walk or jump back to plank and flow through your vinyasa. Really lengthen out in your down dog. And then take your right leg into the air, bend the knee, roll the hip bone open. Swing your right leg underneath you for your third and final pigeon on the right side. Left leg is gonna slide back. I want you to take it back a little farther if you can. Come onto your forearms if possible, maybe even flatten out. And then all I want you to do is move your hands or forearms to the left, one little step. Take your left leg, that's the straight leg behind you, and move it towards the right corner of your mat. All you've done is rotate around that right leg and intensify your pigeon. Take 2 more breaths here. Come all the way up to downward facing dog. Take your left leg into the air, bend the knee, roll your hip bone open. Swing your left leg underneath you, third and final pigeon on the left side. Slide your right leg back, maybe even a little farther than you think you should. And then come on to forearms if you can, maybe even flattening out. All we're gonna do is walk the hands or forearms a good step to the right. Your right leg, which is extended behind you, is gonna move over towards that left bottom corner of your mat. You've just rotated about that left leg. Intensify the stretch, take 2 more breaths. Straight into downward facing dog. Press those hips back. And then shift into plank for the final vinyasa of today's practice. Take a couple more breaths, really maximizing spinal length in downward facing dog. And then you can either walk or jump your feet forward and have a seat in Dandasana. So we want the legs extended. We want to feel our sit bones on the floor, lifting the chest, activating the legs, just kind of taking a moment to check in. It's been a lot of hip work so far. We're not done. Sometimes working the hips intensely can release a lot of things. One thing it can release is stress and tension, which is fantastic. And sometimes it can also release emotions. And even though that may not feel great, that's also fantastic because when we release them, we no longer own them, and that's a good thing. From here, keep your right leg straight. Bring your left foot to the inside of your right thigh and lean out over your right leg. Come on up. You're going to pick your left foot up, bring it on top of the right thigh, but literally just above the knee. Flex the ankle, lean out again. Now, if you would like, keep your spine aligned over your right leg. Left hand can go to the center of the left thigh. This is optional. And you can kind of press down on it and get that little bit of extra yummy leverage in that left hip. You may not want to do that, and that's okay. And then we're going to come up from this, and we're going to take it straight into stacked logs, which is sometimes called double pigeon. So all I want you to do is bring your right foot underneath your left knee. That's not back by your buttock, but it's out. So if you look down, your shins are stacked on top of each other. You have a triangular opening in your legs. Now, if your legs just flop together, congratulations. You may twist to your right, taking your left elbow into the arch of the foot. If you are like me and your left shin has some space before it hits the right shin, please don't twist yet. You're getting ahead of yourself. What we need to do is start to lean forward if we can and breathe. And once the forearms are down and the shins are stacked, we have the option to twist, but we might just need to stay here. So keep breathing. So if your shins were not stacked and you leaned forward and they did stack, if you want to try the twist, that left tricep comes into the arch of the left foot, the hand comes to the ground, the right hand stays on the ground, we lift the torso and we twist to the right. By the way, keep both ankles flexed. And then we're going to completely unwind both legs. Give them a good wiggle. Whew, for those of us who have tighter hips, that's pretty exciting. For some of you guys, it's really easy and yummy. Those of us with tight hips aspire to be like those of you who do not have tight hips. Keep your left leg straight. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Lean out over your left leg. Come on up from that. Pick your right foot up, flex the ankle, bring it on top of your left side, just above the knee, not high, but right there. Lean out again. Just like on the other side, it's purely optional, but if you would like to, keep your torso aligned over your left leg. Right hand can go to the center of the right thigh and kind of externally rotate and press down if you would like a little extra tractioning in that right outer hip. Now you may not need it, may not want it, that's fine, it's purely optional. And then we're gonna come up out of this and take it into stacked logs on this side, double pigeon, right? So your left foot is gonna come directly under your right knee. Remember, you're not snugging it up under your thigh. You want your shins right out in front of you. If you look down, you've got triangular opening. And so again, if legs flopped on top of each other, your right tricep is in the arch of the right foot and you're twisting to your left. If you're like me and you have space between your shins, you just breathe and lean forward and do your best. The breathing is critical, by the way. Ujjayi breath is fantastic here. Now, if you were able to breathe the shins down so they touch, mine are not doing it on this side, so I'm not going to jump ahead of myself, but you're welcome to go ahead and do that twist with your right tricep in the arch of the right foot, both hands on the ground, twisting to the left. Even if you can do it, but your shins aren't stacked, don't do it. Practice satya, honesty, right? If you're not there yet, you lean forward for a couple more breaths. And then we come all the way out of it and extend the legs and wiggle them. So that pose, particularly for me, is a nice illustration that left side and right side are rarely even and symmetrical, and that's okay, right? We deal with our bodies where they're at, and that's fine. From here, just like that, you get to roll onto your back, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. And then from here, we're going to go into reclined pigeons. You notice today is just like all the pigeons, right? There are some that we still haven't done, and we're not going to. So it's really not all the pigeons. Let's just call it a lot of pigeons. So we're going to cross right ankle over left knee, flex the ankle. You're going to reach through and either grab the back of the left thigh, or if you can flex your left knee, you'll grab the front of the left shin. Your right ankle should be flexed, and the idea is to pull your left knee in towards your chest. You'll notice that when you're doing that, your right foot is kind of moving towards the left armpit. That's the same instruction that we were giving during the standing pigeon, right? The whole idea is to find sensation in your right glute, your right buttock and piriformis, and then breathe. And then here's what we're going to do that's a little different. Your right foot should be pretty close to you right now. I want you to grab your right foot with both hands, hold it in place, flex the ankle, extend your left leg all the way out onto the mat. Now, you've got this right leg up here. You can play with it. Play with the angle of the right knee and the right hip until you find just the right spot to finish out right-sided pigeons. And then let go of your right foot. Let's hug both knees in and rock side to side. Put your right foot flat on the mat, cross your left ankle over your right knee, flex the ankle. Figure 4 on the left. So the same thing applies. You're either grabbing behind the right thigh or the front of the right shin. Once you get it, you pull your right knee towards your chest, which will bring your left foot towards your right armpit. And then you breathe. And I want you to go ahead and just grab your left foot or ankle with both hands. Please keep it flexed. Extend your right leg all the way out onto the ground. So now you've got your left foot up here. It's like doing pigeon, but instead of face down, you're face up. And the beauty of this is that you can play with the angles. So opening the knee a little more versus closing it a little more, bringing the leg more towards the midline versus more away from the midline. You get to find the spot that your body kind of goes, oh yeah, right there, stay there, and then you breathe. And then let's go ahead and just hug both knees in, rock side to side. Now for your inversion today, if you can do plow pose, halasana, that's the one with your legs all the way up and overhead, like your toes are reaching for the floor. That would be my first preference. However, if that's not a good idea for you because of neck or shoulder issues, you could do a bridge pose. But if you happen to have a block nearby, make it a supported bridge. We don't really want to work the glutes too hard. So just kind of work your way through that. But if you can do plow, that's where we're heading. Legs come up and overhead. Hands are on the hips. Legs are straight. Then if and only if your straight legs, feet touch the ground behind you, then you can release your hips. But if your feet aren't on the floor, please keep your hands on your hips. It helps you get there. We'll be here for about 4 slow breaths. On your next exhale, whatever inversion you are in, slowly come on out, hug your knees in, rock side to side. Separate your knees, reach your arms between your legs, grab the inside of the arches of both feet, get your lower legs vertical and pull straight down, dead bug. So some teachers and some traditions call this pose happy baby, but in the tradition I was trained in, dead bugs don't move and happy babies do move. So this is dead bug. And then when we transition to happy baby, which we're going to do right now, we're going to grab the outside edges of the feet and then we're going to wiggle and move because happy babies move. They are joyfully exploring what their bodies are capable of doing. It's amazing. They're surprised, they're grateful, and we should be too. Take a couple more breaths, just wiggling around, seeing what you did in your practice today. And then when you feel like you're ready, feet come together flat on the mat. So this morning we're gonna do a little breath-centered movement, but we're gonna do our legs like butterfly wings. So As you exhale, I'd like you to let the knees drop open. Soles of the feet may or may not touch, it's fine. As you inhale, the feet go flat on the mat and the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling again. So you exhale, drop the legs open, inhale, close the legs up. And I want you to just do this in time to beautiful, slow, sweet breaths. Let's do one more. And the next time that your knees drop open, leave them open. Let the soles of the feet touch. We're going to take just a couple of breaths here, completely relaxed. And then the next time you inhale, go ahead and tilt the pelvis back. Press your lumbar spine into the mat to create a little bit of muscular length in the erector spinae, the muscles that run on either side of your spine. You're just breathing normally here, by the way, keeping your back pressed into the mat. And then the next time you breathe out, just let your body relax. You'll feel your pelvis tilt forward again, and you'll feel that lumbar curve return to your spine. One more time, let's flatten out, press your low back into the mat. Exhale and release. Begin to extend your legs, separate your feet, whatever distance feels extra yummy this morning. Make sure shoulders are away from the ears and hands are below shoulders. The neck feels long. The jaw is relaxed, so you have a little bit of space between your teeth. Your eyes are gently closed. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Big exhale through the mouth. And totally relax your body. Let everything go. Just let it all go. Even let your breath go. Your body will always do what's best for it to keep it alive. So every cell in your body is actually an independently living organism, and every single cell wants to survive. So you can count on your body to do what's best for it, including breathing for you right now. So you don't have to do anything. You get to just lie there and relax and enjoy the fact that everything is taken care of for you. And as you kind of settle into that feeling of being completely relaxed, of having everything taken care of for you, I want you to just let that go a little farther. Not only is your body taking care of you, but everything around you is supporting you. The ground beneath you is supporting you. So literally right now, because you're lying on it, but also this earth provides the food that you eat, provides the materials that you need for shelter, provides everything you need. The sun above you provides the energy for the plants, which take that energy and turn it into food to nourish your body. The warmth from the sun keeps you from freezing to death. It's here to support you. The water on this planet is also here to support you. It is, in fact, the majority of what your body is made up of. You are comprised of more than 50% water. So more than half of you is water, usually about 60% or so. The air around you is here to support you. It provides the oxygen that your cells need It provides a way for the carbon dioxide that you exhale to feed the trees and the plants, which in turn convert that into oxygen so that you can inhale. Everything here in the natural world is here to support you. I want you to allow your body and your soul for the next couple of minutes to just feel how completely supported and cared for you are. Notice how it feels physically in your body. So you've been savoring that sensation of being cared for. Notice what an incredibly deep level of relaxation that affords you at a physical level. Knowing that you're safe, knowing that you're cared for, the body can completely relax. Notice how soft and gentle the breath has become since the body is so relaxed. Notice how that cacophony of sound in the mind, that mental noise, has just kind of faded or perhaps even disappeared. Notice emotionally how you feel, having really sort of brought in at a physical level the idea that you're completely cared for. That changes things emotionally. And then notice what your energy feels like right now. Start to bring a little bit of movement back to the fingers and toes. Start to deepen the breath. When you're ready, take a deeper inhale, spread your fingers and toes. Exhale through the mouth and relax them. Even deeper inhale, stretch. Exhale and relax. Bend your knees in whatever way feels good to you. That can mean hugging them into the chest or just bringing feet flat to the floor. And then go ahead and roll to your right side, and I'd love for you to stay there for at least a full inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, you can use your left hand in front of your chest and press up to sitting. So as you come back to your seated posture, try and find that same straight aligned spine that you had at the beginning of your practice. You might notice it's a little bit easier since the pelvis and the hips are looser. Sitting with that perfect pelvic tilt that allows a straight spine might be a little easier this morning. You might notice that. When you find your nice straight spine, I want you to just see if maybe, excuse me, a particular mudra or hand position feels good to you today. If you'd like to do one, but you're not sure what to do, you might consider touching the ring fingertip to the thumb tip on both hands, or it might be that a different fingertip feels really good. And if that's the case, you roll with what feels good in your body, all right? You can kind of test it out. And if you don't want to do a mudra, you can let your hands rest down or just open palms. So we're going to do something a little bit different this morning. We're going to do a left nostril breath, Chandra Vedana. I want you to inhale through your left nostril and exhale through your left nostril. So both parts of the breath, left side only, but you're not going to use your hands to block your right nostril. You're going to do this through concentration and will. So straight spine, hands are resting, mudra or not, on the knees or thighs, eyes closed. Inhaling and exhaling slowly and deeply through the left nostril only. Finish out the breath you're on. Just allow your breath to be easy, gentle, natural through both nostrils. And just take this opportunity to notice how you feel. Notice how you feel as a result of the physical practice, as a result of the relaxation and knowing that you are cared for and supported and held, and as a result of this breath pattern that you just did. And then slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let's have gratitude for this earth that we live on, for the sun, for water, for air, for the fact that we are in fact supported and cared for, and that it's easy to find this same feeling of safety and nurturing if only we remember how supported we are. Take one more huge breath in through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Bringing palms to the forehead, we're just reminded to be present, to pay attention. Bringing palms to the lips, we're reminded to speak our truth. And bringing palms to the heart, we're reminded to keep our hearts open. We're reminded to be kind, to be compassionate, and to love unconditionally. Thank you for joining me this morning. Namaste.